Hello, this is Brennan and welcome to Musings of the Mind. Today we're going to be talking about things that hinder you and things that help you. Because this is something I see a lot of people not quite get somehow. It's like, okay, so it's like, there are times where it's like I have coworkers and they go and they smoke cigarettes all the time and then they or they drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes and then they wonder why their life sucks. And it's like, whoa! Oh, what? That's because it's like, but the more I think about it, it's like, I get this now. Because in life, there are things that advance you towards your goals. Goals like getting up, putting in the work to be where you want to be. That will get you to where you want to be. Eating a healthy diet, getting proper exercise. These things will build you. They'll do. Now, and on the other side, there are things that will hinder you. Like guzzling down a fifth of whiskey. That's not good. That will hinder you. There is no question about that. And I was thinking about it because like I have coworkers who do this. They do a bunch of shit that hinders them. And then I see this in the general like work sphere. Everybody does a lot. I see a lot of people who aren't where they want to be because all they do is do shit that hinders them. And it's like, okay, like I will personally, like I've never smoked any cigarettes or consumed any tobacco products, nor would I ever, because this has been drilled into me from a young age. This stuff is pure bad, just something I would never do. But I do things that one might consider hindrances. Like once in a while I'll watch a movie. That doesn't do anything. Well, actually, that doesn't do anything positive. Like it doesn't advance me towards my goals. But I realized something when I was doing that. I was like, okay, so I watched a movie and maybe I drank a glass of apple cider. And what did this do? It put me in the right mindset. It enhanced my enjoyment. It kind of reset my mind and set me back on track. So the next day I was a lot more energized than I would have been before because I engaged in something that really enjoyed me, that I really enjoyed, and it kind of reset my mindset. And I realized a lot. It's not that people do negative shit. It intentionally because it's negative because they want to make their life suck, like almost every self-help guru seems to think. Nor is it necessarily unconscious behaviors that they're unaware of, like a lot of self-help gurus like to say. Because there's this idea that either these people's lives suck because they secretly want it to suck, or these people just don't know that what they're doing is bad. And I don't think either of these are true. What I'm certain is happening here is, why does that person smoke a cigarette? Because they're very stressed out. They're anxious. They're pissed off. And they take that cigarette, and that cigarette, it helps them in a sense get through the day. It helps them get through. So in reality, what's happening is the cigarette is, in a limited way in the moment, actually helping them. The same way, say, the same way that drinking alcohol does. People drink alcohol most of the time, not because, fuck it, I want to make my life suck, but because one of a few things. It makes them more sociable, or it helps them unwind from a very stressful day. Like the manager's constantly nagging on them, they're constantly about to blow, so they drink some apple cider, and they feel a lot better. This is a prime example. So what's happening here is, in a limited sense, in the moment, the substance is helping them, and that's why they do it. But it has consequences later, so in the end, it's a net detriment. Like cigarettes are a great example. It's like, okay, you smoke a 6-pack, that might help you in the moment, but that shaves. I think statistically, it's at least 12 years off of your life, just by smoking that 6-pack per day for a while. That's what I read scientifically. And it seems like every study we do shows that cigarettes are worse and worse and worse for you. So, but this makes a very interesting point to you, because these negative things are coping mechanisms. And this is a big problem. Everything from procrastination to not doing your work because of stress, everything. These cigarettes, this alcohol, these drugs are all coping mechanisms because these people aren't working on the underlying problem. And that's the thing. Before you can be successful in anything, you need to find what the underlying problem is that's making you do all the negative shit that's fucking up your life. You need to find what that problem is, and you need to deal with it in order to in order to get on the proper path, in order to obtain your true potential. Because you will never achieve self-actualization going this way to your doing nothing that hinders you, going to where you want to be, when you're doing a bunch of shit that won't get you where you want to be because you're using it as a band-aid to cover up some deep internal wound so that you can do the shit that's keeping you where you're at in life. So like, I'm gonna break this down again because I think this is a bigger thing. There's the path you want to be on, waking up early, getting up at 4 a.m., doing that workout, consuming that diet that will make you energized, make you be where you want to be, that will get you going to work, acing it, doing everything right, and going to bed at 8, getting up at 4 again. What keeps you from doing that? What keeps you from getting that perfect life? Because you're over here, you're doing shit that keeps you where you're at while engaging in a bunch of detrimental processes that actively push you away from this life you want because it acts as a band-aid on a deep internal wound, and this band-aid allows you to keep limping on doing the shit that will keep you where you're at. So what you need to do is deal with that deep internal wound so that you don't need the band-aid, so that you could go on the path you want to do. So you need to do introspection, deal with that internal problem, then do the work to get off of the stuff like the cigarettes and the alcohol, and then when you're done with that, you can stay where you can then go on the path that you want to be on. And I think this is the big thing. I'm going to repeat this again because this is a big point. There's the path you want to be on, all the right steps. That's not, if you're listening to me, that's not the path you're on. So what are you doing? You're doing the actions over here that keep you where you're at, that keep you in homeostasis, keep you limping. And you're limping because you have a deep internal wound, so you're consuming a bunch of shitty stuff to push you away from the path you want to be on, like guzzling down a fifth of whiskey, or smoking a 6-pack, to put a band-aid on that wound so you can do the homeostasis managing stuff so that you can and you do this in this massive cycle of fucking bullshit that pushes you away from being where you want to be. So the way you deal with this is you go internally, you figure out what the fuck is happening. You need to deal with that. That's a very hard thing to do. It's not like you can do it one night, but you need to do that work so you can stop doing the negative acts, work and stop that, so you can put a band-aid on that and stop limping on life, so you can go on the path you want to be on to be where you want to be. And what you will realize if you do this work is this whole thing was your hero's journey. You going internally, figuring out all that shit that's fucking up your life, dealing with that, going on a quest, like in the video game, you do this deep internal quest, you figure out what that is, and then you do the quest to get yourself off the band-aid shit. For me, this was procrastination. That's my big thing. And then going on the quest from dealing with homeostasis, from doing the work that is keeping your life from completely collapsing, that is keeping you in that, say, in that convenience store job or something, going from that and then going on the quest to obtain your highest self. What you'll realize is if you put yourself into this work, this is the quest that will build you as a person. You going internally, first quest, going internally, figuring out the problem. Once you complete that quest, you level up. You gain knowledge, wisdom, and then you go on the quest to beat the alcohol, to beat the cigarettes, for example. You'll fight this. You'll go into it very, how do I say, very immaturely, like, oh, I'll stop, just like that, and then you realize no, you can't. So then you go on a quest. Maybe you go to an AA meeting. Maybe you do it by yourself, though that doesn't usually work. So let's say you go to the AA meeting. You go on this whole quest. You come back with wisdom and humility, And then you say, okay, I'm working in a convenience store. I'm gonna work on building this business to the side now that I've dealt with all this shit. And then maybe you gain some skills, you level up a bit, you get a better job, and then you start building a business, and this becomes the quest that is your life. You can either choose to deal with the wounds and heal them and go on the highest hero's journey, on the great hero's journey, or you can choose to put a fucking band-aid on them, sulk on the couch, smoke a pack of cigarettes, jack off, drink a fifth of whiskey, and get angry because you lost a match of Call of Duty Black Ops. So this is the thing. You need to set your sights on what do you want in life, and go for it. Alright? You won't go straight to the top. That's a myth. It will be a long, rough hero's journey. But you will get there eventually. You have one hell of a story to tell about it, and you'll be someone like me telling others and helping others, Coach. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.